Trump speaking at a Hilton in Palm Beach criticized Biden for going to Ukraine but not Ohio. You might recall that Trump was impeached for trying to extort the Ukrainian government. No one cares about this. Like, the funniest part about that entire story is that Trump literally was like, yeah, we'll keep giving you arms, as they did, okay? But just like, you know, you got to find dirt, which is definitely an impeachable offense. That was a violation for sure, right? But you can't cover a Trump W like this when he's literally right, okay? When he's completely correct, and it looks awful from the perspective of average Americans, okay? When you're doing politics. He meant NATO, not just Ukraine. Yeah, good luck, globeheads. Explain that to, like, dudes living in fucking Pennsylvania and Ohio. I don't even agree with it, too. Like, I don't even agree with that attitude anyway. Sorry, you silly, pathetic losers. You don't understand. He met with NATO, and that's really important. Like, the fuck are you talking about? There was a time and place when, like, you know, there were liberals in the Democratic Party who talked about how military spending was absolute bananas and that we need to do something about it to make sure that we help our citizens instead of continue bloodshed overseas. That's long gone. Post 9/11, there is none of that, okay? It's crazy. Look.
Done in 2 years. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. And even now you have a president going to Ukraine and you have people in Ohio that are in desperate need of help. And I was very proud to say that I announced I was going to Ohio. You know, FEMA said we're not going to give them anything. The Biden administration said we're not going to give them anything. And then I announced I'm going. Please sit down.
Look at that. Look, a kernel of truth and a whole bunch of lies wrapped up around it. But it doesn't matter because the kernel of truth is there. He went to Ohio. Biden went to Kyiv. Okay? The lies are FEMA didn't want to give anything to fucking Ohio. That's a lie. Okay? That was directed by Mike DeWine, the governor. The Republican governor of Ohio was the one who denied the actual fucking help from the government. Okay? But hey, you get to dominate the narrative like this if you can just openly state this shit. You get to dominate the narrative. You can be literally the guy who not only advocates for DeWine, you can be the guy who advocates for deregulation and successfully gets deregulation. You know what I mean? Reversing an Obama-era decision, for example, that deregulated the railroads, as we talked about, as the railroad companies, as we talked about. And you can still get to make this argument, and most people will believe you because you're there. You went there. They successfully caused the problem and then turned around, Republicans, I mean, they successfully caused the problem. Democrats are not infallible in this either, but if you're looking at it strictly from a Republican perspective, they caused the problem almost directly. Their ideology is directly responsible for this, deregulation is, okay? Then they turned around and shifted it to a culture war narrative. They slided the fucking conversation away from deregulation to a culture war narrative. These are white people in Ohio. These are hardworking, white working class people that have been left behind by the bi-coastal elitist Democrats. Okay? They slid that convo neatly into a white people are under attack and the Democrats don't give a fuck about it box. Okay? And meanwhile, the Democrats are doing nothing to combat it. They didn't do a good job trying to combat it. It's not that the Republicans are exceptional at reframing narratives. I mean, they're pretty good because they want to win and they don't have a lot of support and their ideas suck. So they have to do everything they can to win and they're going to play dirty. But Democrats, on the other hand, don't want to win. They love the situation that they're currently in where they have like no real meaningful control. So that they could just throw their hands up in the air and say, oh, fuck, we can't do anything about it. That's it. That's where we're at. That is precisely the reason why Democrats are losing this conversation, just like every other fucking convo. Libs are pro-war. They just want a war they can feel good about. and they started to learn too much about the wars in the Middle East, a lot of them still feel really good about intervention in Syria. They feel good about all the wars. They don't give a shit, or they just don't care. The Dems legit don't care about working class people at all, and if the Republicans can pretend like they do for good PR, they will. Yeah. Help me understand. You were criticizing Biden for not going to Ohio or for going to Ukraine. Biden's visit to Ukraine means the world to me as a Ukrainian. It means we are not getting abandoned. Brother, you are not getting abandoned one way or the other, okay? You're getting $111 billion of weapons. Like, clearly you're not getting abandoned, okay? But no, I'm criticizing Biden not for going to Ukraine. I don't give a shit. Of course he's going to go to Ukraine. You know, that's a show of support. That's fine. But Ohio is literally in your fucking backyard. You couldn't just go to Ohio, even for, you know, a symbolic reason. You couldn't even go to Ohio. It's like 300 miles away, brother. You can't go to Ohio before you, before you fly out to Ukraine. It's been a month. Do you see what I'm saying? Can he go to Ohio and go to Ukraine? Yes, yes, he can do that. Chatter. My Ukrainian chatter friend. He can do that. That's what I'm criticizing. I'm not saying, why the fuck did you go to Ukraine? I don't give a shit. Of course he's going to go to different countries. Like, he's the president, right? There's a part of, like, soft power, hard power, all this shit. But I'm pretty sure he could go to Ohio at a certain point, too. I mean, he could have gone to Ohio and then flown from Ohio to Ukraine. Trump would have never visited a blue state is also not right. He actually went to California when the wildfires were happening. And remember, he was talking about how, like, you gotta sweep the floors. So that's so dumb. That's not the case. He definitely will go to blue states and shit. Why? Because he wants to win, motherfucker. That's the difference. They had to sneak his ass into Ukraine on a train. They can't fly him to Ohio. That's what I mean. Why would Dems want to win? They benefit from Republican policies. They benefit from their position as champions of the moral high ground. It's a win-win to lose. Yeah. I personally don't care that he didn't go to Ohio. I get that dumb Americans won't understand, but they don't understand most things already. Wait, but that's not how you do politics, man. You do dumb shit all the time. Why the fuck do people go to Iowa? You think anyone gives a fuck about Iowa? No. Why do you go and eat a hot dog at the fair, you know? You think that genuinely shows that you give a fuck? It's so funny. Democrats and Republicans do this too. They go to black churches. Okay? Once every fucking 4 years, they step foot inside of a goddamn black neighborhood and they go to the fucking black church one time. Okay? They throw up the fist and then they fuck right off. And it's like, what? You think that means they give a fuck about black people? No. You're doing it to get support. And people are so desperate and so starving for, like, any kind of assurances that the government still does care about them that they eat it up. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, man, these people are dumb. Fucking fuck them. Make them learn the truth. It's like, you know, that's not the way to go about it. If you do that, you get an easy political optics win. Otherwise, the Republicans will take that easy W. Exactly. Right now, you can very easily hit so many different angles on how the Biden administration fucked up. They broke the strikes that the railroad workers were pushing for. They offered them none of the things that they asked for. Okay. They strong-armed the labor unions in that regard. And then like a month later, a massive derailment occurred that has now created a new cancer cluster in Ohio. Then they didn't even fucking turn around and like say anything about it until, it became national news because everyone on TikTok was freaking out about it because it was like it wasn't the invisible kind of pollutant that destroys your body every day. It's not the microplastics that we're consuming. It was visible, right? So it was more tangible. It was more identifiable, and people understandably freaked the fuck out about it. Okay? And then, even then, they basically just tweeted about it and didn't do anything. And Republicans will always take advantage of a PR opportunity. They will never let a crisis go to waste. Problem with the situation is that the GOP can virtue signal and claim it's Biden's fault as if they didn't have also broken the rail strike and deregulated the industry to shit. Biden is the face of it because he's president now. Yeah, Biden fucked up when he also did not reinstitute the Obama era policies. Biden also absolutely fucked up when he did not, when he could have used his power, his influential power from the bully pulpit, to force the railroad companies to listen to the reasonable demands that the railroad workers, the labor unions, were pushing for. Okay? Supposedly the most pro-fucking labor president, right? And then they didn't even do, so that's the policy failures, right? Like, because I said Democrats love doing bad policy, but they also do bad politics. And the bad politics of this process is not going to fucking to Ohio at all. Not even showing face. Not even giving assurances to the people saying, hey, listen, look alive, Jack. You might be a post-industrial town that everyone left behind, but I, as the president, will not leave you behind. But he didn't do that. This is like below bare minimum at this point. You're basically asking, the president to fake being president. Like, what's up? You want to just like lose Ohio forever? Why'd you focus on building a microchip center there then? You know what I mean? How are you gonna ever win these people over? Motherfuckers that work at the goddamn facilities that you are opening up, that you're literally using congressional power to open up and subsidies to open up, are going to turn around and vote for Donald Trump. Good job. Meanwhile, what you could have done is ensure that these facilities, especially these facilities that are getting government subsidies, right, have to have at least card check or some form of like labor union provisions. Like you could have just said, hey, listen, like in a beautiful, perfect world, anytime you get government subsidies for your industry, whether it be the oil and gas industry, whether it be microchips, whether it be fucking, I don't know, anything, like literally any auto manufacturing plant, Tesla, right? You have to offer your workers unconditionally the right to, okay, even if it's just a symbolic procedure, you have to offer your workers the right to unionize. You can do that. But they don't do that because they don't give a shit. They don't want to do that. That goes against the Democratic Party's interests. Right? Could have done that for the Ohio factories that you're opening up, but you're not doing that. Right? I'm not even saying force them to be unionized. You know what I mean? Because, like, that'll never happen. I mean, that's too perfect of a world. Just force them to at least as a starting point, suggest, do a fucking roll call on how many people anonymously want to join a labor union. You know what I mean? That's something that you could demand. Authoritarian unions, let's go. I mean, you can do that. You can do a card check. You can make that as a provision. I'm sure that, like, Republicans would fight it tooth and nail. Alec and everyone else would, like, go fucking bananas over it and would take it to the Supreme Court, and then the Supreme Court would destroy it. But I'm just saying, you're not even trying it. You know what I mean? You're not even getting to that point.
I announced I'm going. Please sit down. Yeah, go ahead, sit. We'll be here for a while. What do we have to do? What do we have to do? But done in 2 years, nobody's ever seen.
IBEV member here. I would never work in a non-union shop. I'd rather die. I mean, in some instances, literally death. So.
Swamp the rhinos.
This is my favorite take from Donald Trump. I saw this and I lost my fucking mind. It's such good it's just, he's popping off.
To swamp the rhinos, the deep state, the globalists, and actually the communists. You know, I used to say we'll never be a socialist country. And I was right, because the train never stopped at the socialist, that station never stopped. It just went right by. So maybe we hit the Marxist station and the communist station, but they never stopped at socialism, did they, Monica? Never stopped, It's like, so I was right.
Yeah, the train never stopped. Choo-choo, they said. We're at the communist station. Yeah, dude, America has communism now. The more capitalist America gets, the more communist Republicans call it. It's so funny. All aboard. We got to the Marxist station. As you know, Marxists love deregulating. They love saying redundancies and safety measures are silly and get in the way of the profit motive. Get in the way of the profit margins. This guy, Karl Marx, folks, he wrote a whole book. He loved capitalism. Wrote a whole book about it. Called it Das Kapital.
He's indirectly right. I wish I were right. I wish at least they stopped for a little while and then we'll settle that problem. But they've gone long beyond that, what they're going. To swamp the rhinos, the deep state, the globalists. RNC is dying. They're dying. I always predicted they'll endorse me sometime prior to the election. Might have been the only thing I've been wrong about, actually. But now they wish they had to do that over again. No, they're all dying. Even Fox is way down. Fox is way down.
Yeah.
Because they're not on board with us.
They're
not on board with us. But they're better. But they're not on board with us. It's just like 2016. Fox was against me. Everybody was against me. And we like it better that way, don't we? Somehow we like it just fine.
He's coming back, dude. These are some takes, Trump on undocumented immigrants. We got to get him out. We got to start with the bad ones. Trump proposed an executive order banning federal agencies from promoting the concept of sex and gender transition at any age. He's hitting all the high notes. He's talking about trans stuff.
Even talking about these subjects? Think of that. Gender-affirming care. It's not going to be a problem. As soon as we get in, it'll all be ended. I'll sign a new executive order instructing every federal agency to cease all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age. It's enough.
At any age.
I ended it in the military. I took a lot of heat. But I ended in the military.
At
You're not
any
allowed
age.
to take drugs, but massive amounts of drugs, and people are disturbed in so many different ways. Look, people, they have their ideas, and I'm not going to knock anything, but
Remember, it is never just about like trans children it was never about protecting children. You don't protect children by like stopping them from taking hormone blockers. And very quickly, the narrative shifted over to, no, adults too. Like, adults too. Always. I forgot how transphobic he is. He honestly doesn't talk about it that much compared to the rest of the GOP, but when he does, it's just as unhinged, if not more unhinged, yes.
in the military, you're not allowed to take practically an aspirin. And massive amounts of drugs are taken. They have the operation. You need massive amounts of all forms of drugs. And so just on that basis alone, I ended it. And the military was extremely happy.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, definitely. Trump's audience grows as he attacks Ron DeSanctimonious in Florida.
They'll even take the... We're there, actually. And it was really...
Does anyone have the full one? I want to watch this full video, man. I don't want to watch the highlights because there's so many highlights. There's no lowlights. You know what I mean?
Really good. It was really nice. And everybody thought it was great. And about 2-3 days later, there didn't seem to be much energy. They'll even take this crowd. You know, Ron DeSanctimonious had a crowd in Staten Island today. 139 people in Staten Island. We got a lot of people. We have 139 times about 30. We got a lot of people here. But I always say, hit your enemy a little bit early. Some people say don't, but I say do.
The enemy. Ron DeSanctimonious, he's the enemy. You don't protect trans people by making it more likely for them to commit suicide? Exactly. Well, but they don't never give a fuck about protecting trans people anyway. They don't want trans people to exist.
And this state is so incredible. And I never mention this because I don't like hitting Republicans. I really don't. But I did get 1.2 million more votes than Ron. 1.2 million more votes. Nobody wants to mention. The press refuses to mention it. We'll have to talk to our Club 47 people about this. They don't want to mention good things. No, I got 1.2 million votes more than Ron. And Ron did good in Florida, but I did great. And we won it very easily. In fact, the people in Florida said, sir, you don't even have to come. They love you in Florida. But they love me for a reason. They love me because of the job I did.
There's homies in here promoting like their fucking their illegal black band FIFA, fucking footy streams. That's so weird. Champions League, lad. It's not FIFA, but it's footy. Footy, yeah. Trump brags he actually had a very good relationship with Putin. We noticed, says Aaron.
Example, Putin never, ever would have gone into Ukraine if I were president. Never. And I told him, I actually had a very good relationship. By the way, that's a good thing, not a bad thing. You know, these idiots back there would say, he's very close to Putin. Remember when they hit me with the question, who do you trust? Your intelligence people in the United States.
It's so funny that, like, it's technically correct to have and maintain a decent relationship with every fucking world leader, okay? But, like, they literally say this about Xi Jinping. They're like, Trump, not me, but even though I call him Xi Jinping, Joe Biden, he has a very good relationship with Xi Jinping. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, what the fuck are you saying? They pick and choose. Like, you know, Republicans can do no wrong. They get away with it. They can be friendly with all the fucking world leaders, which they should. Like, you know, it's always better to lead through. It's always better to make sure that the relationships that you have with other, you know, foreign nations is a positive one. You already have trade. You already have trade relationships. So just continue on that. But don't talk to Cuba or Venezuela. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's so fucking annoying.
Not intelligent. You're intelligence people. Comey, McCabe, Strzok, Lisa Page. How about Lisa? Or Putin. And I said, that could be the toughest question I've ever been asked as a politician. They wanted me. And then when I really didn't give them a very good answer in terms of exactness, because I didn't want to, because I didn't trust these people. They're bad people. These are bad people. And when I didn't give, all hell broke loose. But that's okay. That's okay. And it turned out I was right. I was right about that, too. These people, what they have done to our country with the fake Russia scam. And, it's just incredible. But Putin never.
Okay, dude. It's so boring. Trump on Russia's war. Continuing to pour money is delaying everything.
It would have never happened. Now, with that being said, it did happen. I believe I could settle that thing in 24 hours.
Oh, my God, dude. I love that. Dude, he's so awesome. He said, give it up to me. I'll settle it in 24 hours. This is unironically the most normie American hog take that you could just fucking laser focus on, okay? It's so good. It's so good. It's such a good fucking... This is literally channeling the exact same fucking attitude that all these fucking hogs have. It's the idea that you're like, yeah, what do you mean? I can do this. Monday morning quarterback, armchair quarterbacking. I could kick a football. I don't understand why you fucking failed, bitch. I would have tossed the pigskin way better. Just let me on the field. Let me do my thing, okay? It's awesome. What's wrong with wanting to end a war, though? No, I want the war to end, too. It's just funny to think that, Trump is yeah, just let me at him. 24 hours, I'll solve it. What do you mean? How is he doing that? This is the same energy as Marky Mark saying he would have killed the hijackers on 9/11. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I think I could. I really do. I really do. And continuing to pour money in is delaying everything. It's delaying a lot of settlement. It's delaying a lot of things. But it's also getting a lot of people killed because every day that goes on, more and more people are getting killed. More and more of some of those incredible buildings with the domes that are 1,000 years old, they're just laying down dead right now. The whole cities are being done. Almost every single power plant in Ukraine has been destroyed because Russia wins wars with the cold. They beat Napoleon with the cold. They beat Hitler with the cold. That's how they win. And that's what they're doing.
Bro, okay, but you're also talking about Ukraine at that point. I mean, it's a funny take, but also, but that's Ukraine too, what you're considering Russia at that point is also Ukraine as well. Also, Ukraine isn't a Western European nation that decided to invade Russia. So I don't know why he said that. It's so funny, dude. He's so good. Yeah, and it only helped Russia in a defensive war, not when attacking. Yeah, exactly. It's not. What? It makes no sense because what he's claiming is Russia at that point also features Ukraine. Ukrainians were the ones who also beat the Nazis with the cold. You know what I mean? They got wizards. They're using the cold to their advantage. They're doing it.
doing now, they're knocking out all the power plants and people are freezing to death. And it's a very bad thing. I could settle that in one day. As president, you need the power of that.
I can settle that in one day. It's so good. I'm sorry. It's fucking awesome. Like, just give me Ukraine. I'll handle it in one day. One day. Same energy as the chatters being like, I could serve a top of the hour ad break better than you. You know? It's like, no, you can't. At the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break, okay? You can do it better than you. No, you can't. Bye-bye. You no longer want to see those ads at the top of the hour. All you need to do is subscribe for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime or by getting gifted a sub. Hasanabi's nipple. Thank you for the 5 gifted subs. It is a very Steven Seagalian take. Send me to Ukraine. I'll fix it in one day. I've been living in Ukraine for 25 years. I'll fix it. MP Sharky, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Here's the 3-minute ad break now.
That office, but you need to have shtekel. You need to have a way of dealing. You can't do that
Hassan's
just by
Treadwife,
standing
thank you
and
for the
saying,
5 gifted.
We're going to get it. Look, people are dying. The country is being obliterated. Russia's a warring nation. They have many missiles. And if those missiles didn't work, they have other missiles, which we don't even want to talk about.
No.
Very powerful missiles, just like we have, and bombs. And that should be settled immediately, and it could be settled immediately. And when I watch these people going over there and talking, they have no idea what they're doing. And every day that goes by, in many ways, is a gift to Putin, because it just gets worse and worse, and more people are, how do they live like that? And many aren't living.
Many aren't living because they're dead.
Death count is much higher than what.
That's so good.
Nuclear.
Yeah, no, he literally is like, many aren't living because they died.
Is so devastating that we don't even want to talk about it. And that was a word that was never supposed to be mentioned. You have 2 N-words, neither of which should ever be mentioned. I said that once. I said, oh, what a terrible thing to say. No. You have 2 N-words. You know what the one is, but the other is the nuclear word. Not supposed to ever be mentioned. Ever, ever, ever. It's mentioned every single day now. Nuclear is so devastating that we don't even want to talk about it. And that was a word that was never supposed to be mentioned. You have 2 N-words, neither of which should ever be mentioned.
So good. The GOAT, dude. The fucking GOAT.
To be in the same room with you, number one.
Thank you. It's my honor.
I'd also like to thank you for your sacrifice to the people of this country.
Man, he sacrificed so much, dude.
A lot of people are right now auditioning. You know that. A lot of people that are running at 1%, 2%, 3%, no percent. We have a couple that are joining. They're at no percent. I say, I wonder what they're doing. I think they're auditioning right now for.
Every Democrat that poo-poos any kind of like peace talks attitude, any kind of any Democrat that comes out and says like you're bad, you're wrong, you're evil for like fucking wanting to put an end to the war immediately in Ukraine, is doing a disservice, because then you got these fucking dummies who are like, no, we want to end it. We want to end it. When like they don't give a shit. They're never going to stop it. They don't give a fuck. They don't want to end it. But at least they're saying they want to. Half the time they want to end it by because they want to take the money away from Ukraine and like what, fund the border wall or bomb Mexico. You know?
Yes, we have a question here, Mr. President. Yes.
Oh, Joe, come on.
Hello, Mr. President. Thank you so much for everything you've done for us.
Thank you.
We all love you.
Thank you.
We have a problem with all the 3-letter agencies in Washington.
Oh, dude, this is the most groiped up shouty in the fucking room right there. We have a problem with the 3-letter agencies, sir. they're using the tactics they use on Muslims on us instead, sir. What do we got to do about that?
The CIA, the FBI.
So do I.
What is your plan to, I hate to put it this way, but burn them down and start all over again?
Yeah. They've gotten out of control. They have weaponization in some forms and other things. They have really gotten out of control. And the only thing that can change that are the people. And we did a lot of work, and we were really getting down to a point that, nobody could believe how well we were doing in that regard. But we're going to have to do something about it. We're going to make changes and big changes, and that change has to start.
Yes, we have a question, Mr. President. Yes.
Oh, Joe, come on.
Hello, Mr. President. Thank you so much for everything you've done for us.
Thank you.
We all love you.
Thank you.
Yeah, big changes are coming. Yeah, he's gonna abolish. He's gonna dissolve the CIA and the FBI.
Because it became too big for its britches.
A guy asked Trump if AT&T should be dismantled because DirecTV dropped Newsmax. Oh my God. I love when they fucking talk about monopolist power only because like their favorite programming has been disrupted. It's so frustrating, dude. It's so crazy. I mean, I'll take it. I don't give a fuck. Like the only time when they're like, yeah, let's do something about these fucking mega corporations is when like Disney comes out and says something along the lines of like, yeah, you shouldn't like try to murder gay people. They're like, whoa, what the fuck? Time to put corporate punishments on the board. And it's like, okay, fine, do it. I don't even give a shit. I don't care. Do it. Yeah, it's because of the gay people thing. Yeah, fuck it. Why not? And then they never do. A guy asked if he wants his fans to fight for him. Trump says, what we need is your absolute undying support, and we have it. We lost by a whisker here, a whisker there. Okay, yeah, all right.
There he is again, Hasanabi.